What's up, Panthers? Welcome back to this week's rendition of Countdown to Kickoff, the Katie and Carter Show. So first up, we have Take Your Pick review. Notre Dame, Wisconsin's our first game. Who'd you have, Katie?
I don't really remember, but I think I had Wisconsin, but Notre Dame ended up winning and 41-13, so they kind of blew, or 41. Did I say 31? I think I said 31.
Yeah, I think it's 41.
It was 41.
Yeah, I had Wisconsin win that too. It was close until the fourth quarter, where Wisconsin's quarterback threw 4 interceptions, or not in the fourth quarter, but throughout the game he threw 4 interceptions. He's looking like a great QB. Really proud of him.
Yeah.
Up until the fourth quarter, it was tied 10-10, and then Notre Dame scored 31 unanswered points. 2 of those which were pick sixes, so great job by Mertz, their quarterback. Really proud of him.
Yeah, really proud of them. They did really well. I didn't have a strong opinion over this game. I'm not super on the Notre Dame or Wisconsin side, so yeah. Next, going into Texas A&M and Arkansas, 10-20, kind of close game. It was a little all over the place, but Arkansas ended up winning. So
yeah, I had Arkansas on that. Going into the game, Texas A&M was the number 1 run defense in the nation. So I was looking to see if Arkansas, because that's what they rely on, is to be able to run, which allows them to open up the pass game.
Mm-hmm.
And they just kind of ran over them for the most part in the run game. They started off really strong, had a couple big plays in the very beginning, and I don't know. I think that I think Arkansas's offense is looking really good this year.
Yeah.
They play Georgia this week, so I guess we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the Arkansas and Georgia game because I think it will be a show on how good their offense is because obviously we know how good Georgia's defense is.
Yeah.
Moving on to UCLA and Stanford, I was a little upset. I obviously had Stanford last week, but UCLA ended up winning 35-24.
Yeah, UCLA, after having that heartbreaking Hail Mary loss last week
I know.
Against Fresno State, they came back. Thompson Robinson, their quarterback, he had the big plays when they needed them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the second time UCLA has won against Stanford in the past, or at Stanford in the past 14 times they've played. And the last one, the other win being in 2019, where Thompson Robinson was also the quarterback. Mm-hmm. He has 7 touchdowns in total in those 2 games. And Stanford in general just struggled to establish a run game. The 3 starting running backs got injured. Austin Jones, Casey Filkins, and E.J. Smith all got injured, looking like the Ravens kind of. But yeah, I mean, when you don't have a running back, it's kind of hard to set up anything if you don't have a run game.
Yeah. You said that that's the first time in 14 years that UCLA has beat Stanford?
No, they won in 2019, but within the past 14 times they've played at Stanford, they've only won twice.
Oh, wow. That's crazy to think about. It's kind of disappointing for Stanford. I feel like there's like a little bit of a rivalry there, and so I'm kind of disappointed for them, but there's always next year, and I really hope that Stanford starts doing better.
Maybe if McCaffrey has a kid, he'll go there. McCaffrey was a beast. So next up we have Kansas State versus Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm. Oklahoma State ended up winning that game 20-31. It was fairly close. I didn't have a super strong opinion of this. I can't really remember what I said. I want to say I said Oklahoma State last week, but
yeah. So at halftime, Oklahoma State kind of pulled away. Kansas State kicked a field goal in the first half, and then they had a kick return. So the first touchdown came from a kick return in the first half. So it was 31-13 at halftime. Oklahoma State was pulling away. And then Kansas State had the only touchdown in the second half, so neither team could score.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty lucky touchdown, to be honest.
Yeah, they were pretty evenly matched, I'd say.
Yeah, the play was actually pretty cool. Like the whole pocket just collapsed, and he just was like, tossed the ball over to his running back, and everyone was just man on man. There's like 3 people to beat, so everyone's got their blocks, and he just ran up the field. But other than that, I mean, the second half was just kind of at a stalemate.
Yeah, Nebraska, Michigan State. Man, Michigan State barely won that game.
Yeah, I saw that. I turned it on right as it got into overtime. I had Michigan State. I thought they were going to blow them out, to be honest, or at least not happen what happened in overtime.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was close, and it obviously was close. Michigan State struggled in the second half. They didn't get a single first down. Mm-hmm. Don't know how you do that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to them. Now, I don't want to talk good about Michigan State because we all know I'm a Michigan fan. But, you know, normally they're not awful, and this season they just haven't been playing like how they have in the past, and I was kind of proud of Nebraska for giving them a run for their money. Hopefully whenever we play them in a few weeks we will win, but I don't know.
Michigan fan. But yeah, I mean, Michigan State struggled all the second half. Jaden Reed had a punt return which put them back into the game and tied it up, and Michigan held out until the second half. So yeah, held out. They went to overtime, and then first play of overtime, Kenneth Walker got the ball to the 2 on the first play of overtime, So, Kenneth Walker did a great job there.
Yeah, super proud of him, and I'm super surprised by this. Like you said, I really expected Michigan State to completely blow them out, and they didn't. Nebraska kind of gave them a run for their money, and it was kind of interesting to watch. I wonder how they're gonna continue to do the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think they'll come back. Kenneth Walker's an amazing running back. He gave them their only first down of the half, but I think Michigan State will bounce back and beat the Wolverines because go Michigan State.
No, they won't. That is a fat lie. What improvements do you think they're gonna try and make at practice for the future?
Probably everything, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, their whole offense just struggled completely in the second half. So Kenneth Walker is an amazing running back. So if they can keep, I don't know, they just got to find out how to not go 3 and out every down.
I know. It's just they can't even make a first down. I mean, it was kind of embarrassing, honestly.
Yeah. In previous weeks, though, Kenneth Walker had amazing. He has 700 yards.
He had such a great game.
So,
I wonder what happened what changed.
I think they'll bounce back.
Yeah. Do you think they've been facing a better defense, or do you think that he just had an off game?
I think the whole Michigan State offense just had an off game. I think they'll bounce back, but they also have some tough competition coming up, so we'll see how that goes.
I wonder if, playing football, I wonder if they feed off each other's energy a lot.
Oh, definitely.
One guy gets down, and then the whole offensive line is down,
Yeah, I mean, once you don't get a first down, you're just kind of like, what can we do?
Yeah.
So next up, we have trivia time, a new segment introduced.
Trivia segment.
So you want to go first, or should I?
I'll go first.
All right.
So I have 5 questions for you. My first question is, which Pac-10 team is known as the Wildcats? A, Washington, B, Arizona State, C, Oregon State, or D, Arizona?
All right, so Arizona State are the Sun Devils.
Mm-hmm.
Washington is the Huskies. What was the other two? Arizona and who?
Oregon State and Arizona.
Oregon State is the Beavers, and Arizona would be the Wildcats.
Good job, Carter White. Okay, my second question. What former wide receiver and kick punt returner became famous before winning the Heisman? He's also well known for striking a Heisman pose after scoring a touchdown against Ohio State.
Can I answer?
Yes.
Desmond Howard.
Yes, Carter. Our third question. The winningest program in college football history is Ann Arbor. In Ann Arbor is who?
The team is in Ann Arbor?
Mm-hmm.
Michigan.
Yes.
As much as I hate to say it, because Harbaugh is not very good. Don't like him.
He hasn't been doing terrible.
Yeah, this year,
he really hasn't.
He's had a bounce back.
Fingers crossed. I don't like to get excited because I've been really let down in the past, and I wasn't thrilled on how they played against Rutgers. I think we should have blown them out. But, it was a little – we still won, but, I think we should have played a little bit better. So, I don't know. That makes me a little nervous, but so far everything's going well.
Yeah, I usually say the ultimate test for Michigan is Ohio State at the end of the year. Harbaugh's yet to beat Ohio State as tenure coaching them.
Yeah.
But Ohio State's not all that this year.
They really aren't. We've really seen them struggle in the last few weeks.
So I think Michigan will be tested against Michigan State, Penn State, and Ohio State, all three. So I guess we'll see how Harbaugh does, and if actually his contract's renewed, so I guess it matters.
Yeah, his contract did get renewed. So my fourth question, which bowl game is played in Tampa, Florida? A, the Citrus Bowl, B, Outback Bowl, C, Independence Bowl, or D, Sunshine Bowl?
Okay, well, I don't think it's the Independence Bowl. Was the Orange Bowl one of them?
No, Orange Bowl's not on here.
Okay. Orange Bowl is in Orlando. Don't even know if Sunshine Bowl is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
What are the other two?
Citrus and Outback.
I feel like the Outback Bowl is in Texas. So I'm going to say the Citrus Bowl, but I feel like that might not even be in Florida. But I'm going to say Citrus Bowl.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
It is B, Outback Bowl.
Oh,
it's
close.
okay. It was close.
I got it down to 2.
That was a good one. So my fifth and final question. The oldest program in the Sunshine State is which school? A, Florida International, B, Miami, C, Florida, or D, Florida State?
The oldest school?
The oldest. The oldest program in the Sunshine State.
I want to say it's not Florida. I feel like it would be a small school for some reason. So I either have FIU or Miami. But I don't remember where Miami. I know Miami was in there. going to say FIU.
It was Florida.
Okay.
Florida's the oldest.
Yes, I'm dumb.
No, it's okay. You got 3 out of 5, didn't you?
That's
yeah,
still
3
B.
out of 5.
Let's see. That's passing.
That was good.
It's passing. All right.
How many questions do you have?
I have 5 too.
Okay, I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna try my
They're
best.
a little bit hard, but if you can eliminate.
Are they multiple choice?
Yeah, they're multiple choice.
Okay.
But if you can eliminate answers, then you'll
Okay,
find
that
the
would
right
probably
one.
help.
So the first one, this one is might be the hardest. You just have to get a lucky guess. Which team has been to the most bowl games? It doesn't matter if they've won or lost. Just
been to the most.
A, Alabama, B, Nebraska, C, USC, or D, Texas.
Okay, I feel like Alabama would be too obvious.
Yeah, that seems pretty obvious. Reminder, USC, Texas, and Nebraska were all powerhouses back in the day, before the playoff era.
Okay. I want to say Texas.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
It is Alabama.
Are you serious?
Alabama, I guess, they had the stint with with Coach Bryant, and then Saban, and they had a little in between all of that. So I don't know. I think they've been to 64 bowl games.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of games.
Which is more wins than certain teams have.
Yeah.
So number 2, which team or teams joined the Southeastern Conference in 2012? A, Texas A&M, B, Vanderbilt, C, Missouri, D, Southern Miss, or is it both A and C, which would be A&M and Missouri, or both B and D, which would be Vanderbilt and Southern Miss?
Wait, both A and C?
Yeah, so either A&M, Vanderbilt, Missouri, Southern Miss, or did 2 teams join, being A&M, Missouri, or Vanderbilt, Southern Miss?
The 2 teams.
But which? So do you think A&M, A&M and Missouri joined, or Southern
A&M
Miss?
and Missouri.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Correct. Texas A&M joined, and then a couple months later, Missouri also left, and they finally got inaugurated in July of 2012. Then Manziel came and beat Alabama. I was at that game. It was really depressing. Don't want to talk about it. So third question. If you can do order elimination on this, I think you'll get down to 2. What player has won the Heisman Trophy more than once? It's only one player ever, but a couple people have been close. So A, Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, Texas A&M's old quarterback from 2012 when he came in. Number 2 or B is Tim Tebow from Florida. No, C, Archie Griffin, an old player from Ohio State.
Hey, that's my last name. Are we related?
Well, he played for Ohio State, so do you want to be
Oh,
related?
absolutely not.
And
we
then
reject him. The Griffin family doesn't want him.
Then Joe Montana at D.
Is it bad? I don't know. I kind of want to say Tim Tebow, like low-key.
Well, who can you eliminate? Who do you know either didn't win it or won only one?
Who's the number 1 guy?
Johnny Manziel.
Okay, I don't even know who that is, to be honest.
Wow.
What if that's him?
That's hurtful. He's a
that
partier.
Him? Oh God, is that him? Was it him? Now I feel like it was him, like low-key. Okay, I actually don't know. You can tell me.
Okay, so how about I give you a hint?
Okay, give me a hint.
I'll get it down to 2. It's not Manziel.
Okay.
And it's not Joe Montana, who I don't think he even won the Heisman.
Okay, say them all again one more time.
So
Sorry.
your answers now are Tim Tebow or Archie Griffin.
Tell me it's not Archie from Ohio State.
What's your choice? Tim Tebow from
I'm gonna go with
2009?
Tim. I'm gonna go with Tim.
That's actually very close. Tim Tebow won one year, and then the next year he was supposed to win again, and people say that he kind of got screwed out of it. But the answer is Archie Griffin, your favorite Ohio State player.
Ew.
He won back-to-back years for Ohio State, and Ohio State actually shares the record for most Heisman winners with Notre Dame and Oklahoma, who both don't deserve them.
That's unacceptable.
So question 4. This is a bowl game question, just like yours, or kind of. What 2 teams play in the Red River rivalry?
Oh God.
That happens every year. A, Texas Tech. B, Oklahoma State. C, Texas Oklahoma. Or D, Texas Tech Oklahoma State.
Texas Tech, Oklahoma State.
That's your final answer for who plays in the Red River Rivalry Bowl?
Yes.
Incorrect. It is Texas Oklahoma. It's close though. I tried to throw you off with the multiple Texas and Oklahoma teams. So
Yeah, I got confused.
Yeah, Texas Oklahoma is big every year.
Carter made his hard.
I try to keep them like easy, like you can eliminate them.
I made mine so easy.
I'll tone it down. And okay, last one. What two teams call their home or like their stadium Death Valley? It's like, you know how like Alabama's called like Bryant-Denny Stadium,
Yeah.
and Pelham's Ned Beard and stuff. So
Mhm.
A, Clemson Auburn, B, Clemson LSU, C, LSU Auburn, or D, LSU Clemson and Auburn.
What? Sorry.
It's like what's their stadium's like name?
Okay.
Now
It's
you should be able to
not-
eliminate
it's
one
not
right off the bat.
Yeah. I want to go C.
C, LSU Auburn,
Wait, no, not that one. What was B?
Clemson LSU.
Okay, that's fine.
Correct. Clemson and LSU both call their stadiums Death Valley.
Okay.
So like Auburn's Jordan Hare,
Yeah.
and then
I knew that it wasn't Auburn because I knew it was Jordan Hare.
yeah, and then D was all three, and I said there was only two teams they call it, so you can eliminate that one. So
Okay.
you did good.
Thanks.
But yeah,
I
they
got
all.
like none right.
I think
You actually made yours hard. So
No, you went 2 for 5. We were basically the same.
I failed.
So, guys, next up we have Pigskin Pick'em, where we ask y'all 2 of the top games this week, and y'all answer them. So head over to that now, and we'll see y'all back later.
Hey guys, it's Lexi here with your 2-game pick'em of this week, guessing Alabama versus Ole Miss's score. What do you got?
Gotta go with the Tide. Easy.
What's your score prediction?
Bama 42-7.
What about Auburn versus LSU?
Based off the way Auburn played against Georgia State, LSU 27, Auburn 21.
Roll Tide. Auburn versus LSU, who do you have?
Definitely Auburn.
And then what's your score prediction?
Probably 82-0.
Alrighty, and then what about Alabama versus Ole Miss?
Probably Alabama, I'm not gonna lie.
What's your score prediction for that game?
Maybe like 52-53.
Alabama versus Ole Miss, who do you have winning?
Alabama.
Do you have a score prediction?
No. Alabama wins. Auburn loses. That's it. Roll Tide.
They're not playing Auburn.
Who cares?
Okay. Auburn versus
Auburn's
LSU.
going to lose. Auburn's going to lose.
Okay, roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Alabama versus Ole Miss, who do you have?
You know, I'm going to have to go Ole Miss. I'm just thinking that Ole Miss quarterback's just going to run all over them, pass all over them. Alabama sucks. I mean, what else can I say?
Anyways, Auburn versus LSU.
I'm going to have to say Auburn. They look so good against Georgia State. I cannot complain. TJ Finley against LSU. I mean, he's going to do as good as he always has been. So, Auburn.
Auburn versus LSU. Who do you have?
I got to go with LSU in Baton Rouge. I think there's going to be some quarterback turmoil with Auburn, and away from Jordan Hare, I got to go with LSU.
What's your score prediction?
Ooh, it'll be close. Say 31-24.
All right, and then what about Alabama versus Ole Miss?
This is going to be a tough one. Ole Miss has looked really good. The quarterback, Matt Corral's having a good season. I think after last year, I think Alabama will be up and ready to go with this one, and I got to take Alabama.
What's your score prediction for that game?
56-48.
Versus LSU. Who do you have?
Auburn,
Why do you say that?
because I have to.
What's your score prediction?
I'm going to say 28-24.
Alrighty, and then what about Alabama versus Ole Miss?
I mean, why bother?
Why bother?
Of course, Alabama wins that game,
Oh, he knows.
600-0.
Yes, of course, of course. So that's your score prediction?
Sure.
Alrighty. Alabama versus Ole Miss. Who do you have?
It's going to be a very high-scoring affair. Ole Miss, great offense, trash defense. I say 49-38. Roll Tide.
Auburn versus LSU.
Who's Auburn going to use for quarterback this week? Anybody? Is anybody available? LSU. Can they both lose? I would like both of them to lose. Can they both lose? How about a tie? A tie? Can they tie? It's soccer, right? I'm the soccer coach, right?
Yeah,
Can't they
yeah.
tie?
Tie!
I want a tie.
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 Yeah.
Which is our Take Your Picks. So first we have Georgia and Arkansas.
So Georgia, Arkansas, I think it's going to be, honestly, I'm not really sure on this one. I want to say Georgia just because their defense has been so monstrous. They've ate up everyone. They play really aggressive. They're huge. They're all 5 stars, probably 6 stars. Not even a thing, but they probably are. And they've just recruited really well. I think JT Daniels, their quarterback's banged up, but they have a good backup, and they basically just swap him out. Stetson Bennett. So I think either JT Daniels plays or he doesn't. They have Stetson Bennett back there. I mean, their offense hasn't looked horrible, but who have they really played? Clemson, every week, the severity of that loss or that win against Clemson just keeps becoming less and less relevant as Clemson loses more games. They've started out 2-2. Their offense, they've barely scored touchdowns against mediocre teams. They've also allowed no touchdowns, but when you play North Carolina State, it's not really relevant.
Yeah, I know we weren't really talking about Clemson, but can we talk about Clemson for a second, for real?
Yeah, I don't know. Paul Feinbaum said their dynasty is over. I don't know about that. I think they'll have a bounce back year.
It's over.
But this year they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, this year for sure they're not going anywhere. It's really upsetting after such really good previous years, and all of a sudden they're just kind of dying out, like you said. And I really hope this isn't it for them, But so for my Take Your Pick for Georgia versus Arkansas, I think it's going to be Georgia. We watched them win to Texas A&M last week, but it's only 10-20, and I really think that they struggled. Like we were talking about, it might have just been, maybe an off week, like we were also talking about for Michigan State. Maybe not. Yeah. We'll have to see. I definitely think that Georgia's defense is going to prevail, though. So.
Yeah. Well, since you picked Georgia, I haven't actually decided yet, so I think I'm going to go with Arkansas. I think there's a very high chance that Georgia just blows them out of the water, doesn't let them score at all.
I agree. I think that's what's going to end up happening.
Georgia hasn't played a real offense yet, and Arkansas seems like they have at least something cooking up down there.
Yeah.
It is at Georgia, so that's another disadvantage for Arkansas. Mm-hmm. But, last week they played the number 1 ranked run defense last week, which was Texas A&M, and they did really well against that. So I think we'll have a real test for Georgia's defense. We'll see how they do, and especially against Georgia's offense. Arkansas has some great linebackers that lead the team down there. So I think it'll be a close game, or maybe not. But go Hogs, Woo Pig Suey. So next up, Katie, who do we have?
We have Ole Miss and Alabama. Normally I'd try to go for the underdog in an Alabama game, but I think Alabama has this one for sure.
Yeah, I agree there. Bama, it's at Bama. That's an advantage for them.
Home game.
But when we played Florida, we started off really well. Scored the first 3 drives, and then after that we kind of just died down. So Saban said they needed to keep their intensity throughout the game. They did against Southern Miss. I think if we can if the defense can make stops against that amazing offense Ole Miss has down there, I think if Bama's defense can get off the field, we'll be all right. But Matt Corral, Ole Miss's quarterback, absolute monster. Some people say that he's the best player in the nation right now. He had 7 touchdowns in 1 game by himself against Tulane. So some of those he ran in, some of those he passed for. But last year when we played Ole Miss, we struggled a lot on defense. It was a very close game until the last couple minutes, and Bama pulled away. So I think if Kiffin's going to go for it on 4th down, it might be 4th and 20, he'll go for it. Kiffin always has something up his sleeve. So I think it'd be a very good game. And Ole Miss has a really good chance to win that game, but I'm hoping Alabama comes out on top, especially with the atmosphere at Bryant-Denny.
The atmosphere that it's a home game will be very beneficial. But I wanted to ask you a question, and this kind of relates also to Alabama's game against Florida, just kind of reflecting on that in that game. Do you think Alabama being where they are and them continually winning these games and being on top, do you think that can lead to them thinking that they don't have to work as hard?
I know Saban calls it rat poison. Mm-hmm. In the media, everyone praises Alabama. And people are saying that the same thing's going to happen with Ole Miss. Everyone's praising them and their quarterback play and their defense. So I'm kind of wondering how it's going to play in. But I think Bama knows they're coming out for a good win against Southern Miss. So it's not that impressive, but it's a win. Yeah. And a big one at that. So I think Bama will stay strong. And I think Ole Miss probably will too, but we'll see. Because Ole Miss, it's been a little couple years since they've been in this position and been this closely ranked against Alabama, which is number 1 and number 12. So, yeah.
Yeah, and just talking about Alabama for a second, I think it's really hard to appreciate your spot at the top when you haven't really been at the bottom in such a long period of time.
Yeah.
But I definitely think they're going to continue to do better. But I think just reflecting on that Florida game, I think it was kind of like, oh crap, like we're not always just going to be the best. So
next up, we have Auburn versus LSU, which y'all guys also picked for. But last week Auburn played Georgia State, struggled. Bo Nix got benched, and up until the final seconds, I thought Auburn was going to lose. I was really excited, and then T.J. Finley became a magician, a wizard, led a 98-yard drive in the final couple minutes, and won the game for Auburn. So I think he might start over Bo Nix next week. I don't really know what's been said or what the coaches said about who's starting, but I think the Auburn LSU game will be really good, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I agree. I think LSU is definitely going to probably beat Auburn, but I don't know. It might be a really good game, so we'll just have to see.
So next up, we have Michigan, Wisconsin. Wisconsin is 1-2. They lost last week to Notre Dame. You know, we talked about that. They allowed 31 points in the fourth quarter, 2 pick sixes. But Wisconsin coming into it is a 2-point favorite over Michigan, which is kind of surprising. Showing, based off of Michigan playing so well, it's kind of surprising Wisconsin's coming in as the favorite.
Yeah, it is surprising. I really am hoping for Michigan to kind of come through and win this game. But it's going to be exciting. I'm interested to see how it ends up turning out.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Michigan's seeking its first victory at Wisconsin since 2001. 20 years since they've won there. And last off, we have Cincinnati and Notre Dame. 7 versus 9. How do you think that's going to go?
Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think if Notre Dame plays like they did last week, if they can actually not just score 31 points in the fourth quarter, they can stay consistent.
Yeah,
I think
if
they'll be all right.
They start off strong instead of just coming for it at the end of the game. If they just will start off strong and continually be strong and score points and drive, get the first down at least, then they'll do good and they won't have to wrap it up the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati is also really good. I'm gonna pick Cincinnati. I think as long as if they start off fast and keep the same pace, I think Cincinnati can pull away against a Notre Dame team that's kind of struggled in the first couple weeks up until Wisconsin. But yeah, guys, this is the countdown, the kickoff, the Katie and Carter show. I'm Carter.
I'm Katie.
And we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.